Hey everyone, welcome back. Today, this is a lens, the 7artisans 12mm 2.8 aperture mechanical for the Canon M50. We're gonna do our live review on this. We got so much to get through. Let's just get into it, eh? Here we go. Artisan 12mm 2.8 lens. Now today we're going to talk about this. I'm going to basically do like a review. I've had it for 2 months now. It's been really good. We're going to go through the specs. We're going to talk about why I wanted it, and then we're going to go in some examples. I'm probably going to narrow it down. I've got about 120 really good photos. I'm going to narrow it down to about 10 really good photos, I think, and then talk through them, and then we'll go into a conclusion of why I think you should add this one to your list. It's a great lens. I definitely got to tell you that straight up. Let's get into it. Currently I've got the Canon M50. With that I have a 55-200, which is a really good lens for getting a bit of little telephoto stuff out there. And I've got the 15-45, which is on now, which I basically use that one because it's got the image stabilization and I can get the face tracking and the zoom on it, which I don't obviously get with the manual. And I think that does a really good job. I don't think I need to have that ultra wide for the vlog as much. As you can see, probably about 2 foot away, so I don't really need that. Anyway, let's get on with it. We'll start with the specs. We'll go through the specs now from the 7artisans site. So as I said, it's a 12mm ultra wide angle prime lens. It's a 10 element in 8 groups, just to get optical design, inner rear focusing mechanism. And it's currently the most compact 12mm 2.8 lens on the APS-C market. It's great for landscapes, architecture, anywhere where you really need to bust open that, get that wider view. It's 63 mils wide on the body. Obviously, it comes with standard with a lead hood. That's under here. I've got an adapter on there. I might actually pull that straight off for you. I've got my ND filter on there, which is also on a 7artisans adapter. So there you go. That's how it comes. It's a beautiful little lens. It's got a fair bit of weight to it. Nice solid construction, silky smooth, and that big. You can see that dome there. You might be able to see that. I'm trying to get that there for you. You can see it. So you can't have that inner filter in there for an ND filter. Hence why you've got to go to a tapered version that goes up to a 77mm filter. And I've got a combination CPL and variable ND there from K&F Concepts. Now it's a 12mm 2.8, minimum apertures f16. It's got 7 blades, or 7 pieces for the blades. Angle of view is 102 degrees. Weight's 292 grams. As I said, it's definitely got some weight to it. It weighs more than the 55-200. That's how solid it is. I think that's actually pretty good. It's still compact, so it's not weight that's hanging off the front of your camera and holding the camera down. Because it's so compact, it sits on the lens. It's solid. It's not, if you understand what I mean, it's not going to fall over, sort of tip yourself over, so you're not constantly trying to hold it up as you're shooting through the day. Closest focus is 0.2 of a meter, so that's pretty good, 20 centimeters. Frame type APS-C. Aperture ring, it's declicked aperture ring. As I said, it's very, very, very smooth on both the focus and the aperture ring, and I think that'll probably last a long while. I've been using it constantly for the last 2 months, and yeah, I've been wrapped with it. It's been really good. Comes in for basically all micro brands, so Olympus, Sony, Canon, Fujifilm, and Panasonic, so you can get those mounts for it. And yeah, so that's pretty much the specs. I'm very, very happy with the way it's worked. Now, why did I want this lens? Well, my options were pretty limited. I guess that's the biggest issue with the Canon M50 or the M series for Canon, was the lack of glass for that micro mirrorless camera version, which is basically your entry point. as far as I'm concerned. I got my camera for about $600, which I think is a really good deal for an M50. So yeah, my options were basically the Canon 11-22, there was the Miki, there was a few others. This had a fair few good reviews, and I looked for a good solid couple of months on all the internet, checked everywhere, read up on all the forums, whatever I could find, and these guys had a good rap for this, so I thought I'd check with this, and the prices were really, really good. This I got for 180 Australian dollars for a wide-angle lens. The 11-22, I think the best I could get that for around, I've just missed out on one at 300, and that was a good day. It's normally around the 350 to 400 Australian dollars for 11-22. So basically, I got this for half the price of that. I wasn't really concerned about the autofocus and stuff like that and the zoom on it, because I wanted just something I could use for landscape. And I'm actually pretty keen on the older lenses. That's what I started with my photography when I was in high school. We didn't have all this fancy stuff. I had a K1000 Pentax, so like I'm used to that. I used to develop all my own film and all in the dark rooms, so I'm learning all the new stuff with Lightroom and Adobe Premiere and stuff like that. So yeah, pretty cool. So yeah, I had no concerns with the manual side. That was actually fairly attractive to me, I've got to admit. So yeah, very cool, and that was basically why I was after it. And it just basically come down to cost. What I could get for the best value, and this was that lens. Hey, righto, welcome back. I'm going to shoot out, get some astro shots tonight. It's in a bit of a scrub. We talked about it on the vlog the other day. Let's shoot. Ha! So guys, what we're going to do is we're going to get into some examples now. Have a look at, I've got 18 photos I've narrowed down. It's pretty tough. There's a fair few more that I do have that I really, really like, but probably these are my top 18 I've got with this lens. Yeah, let's get into it, eh? Right, first one, I don't mind a bit of astrophotography. I thought it'd be good to get that to try and get a big bit of the sky. The biggest problem I have here is I get a heap of light with the mining site, the camp. It does sort of feed back, and you've got to go into the bush, and you don't really want to go too far in the bush anyway with snakes, taipans and stuff like that. So it's a little tricky in that regards. I did a couple of nights, and I think this was probably my best night. This photo here, you can see it didn't get. Unfortunately, this night there was no Milky Way. It had sort of dropped beyond the horizon and behind that mountain range. But you can see that it does, like, this has picked up a heap of the foreground. It's nice and clear. I'm pretty happy with how the foreground turned out. And then I've got in the back, it's a really nice clear night and lots of nicely defined stars out there. So I'm pretty happy with that one. Obviously, it's not my best Milky Way one, but unfortunately, where the Milky Way normally sits, when I did the testing, we've got a new pit opening up, and that lets dust and a heap of light coming over from the lighting towers, and that it's amazing how far a light will travel into the bushland. That can affect when you're doing even like a 22-second shot, which is what you need to do for the M50 on that lens. So yeah, I was pretty happy with that one. I do have some nicer ones with the 15-45, so probably it's something I need to do a little bit more time with, and I need to get out where there's actually just no light. I'll hopefully do that in the next 12 months and get some of them up on our Instagram page. The next one is one of my first sunset ones I did with this, and this photo just really rocked my socks. You can see in the bottom left-hand side of the photo, there's a little touch of flare in there in the lens, and I do really enjoy that in a lens, and that's probably why I didn't mind the mechanical side. I like that little something. I guess it's a little vintagey, I guess, and I'm probably more supposed to that, but I was really happy with that. Straight after work, shot across the road, got to this, and I love that beautiful star pattern coming out of the sun as it's got it just in time, and at the right it had that nice cloud cover, as you can see, and they get that beautiful, those little sunbeams coming out of it, and it looks fantastic, and I'm wrapped about this photo. Really, really nice one, and couldn't be happier. I was after I'd taken this photo and seen it, and I edited it, and I got on there on Lightroom and had a play with it, I was really excited about this, and I think it was probably one of the reasons I did want to do a review on this, because I was really wrapped. As you can see, landscape 2, it gives me a big broad range. It really opens up. That's a massive area of land. That's huge. That's probably to that mountain. It's probably a good 2-3 Ks to get over there, and for it to open up, that's probably a good 4 or 5 Ks wide, that stretch. So that was very, very cool, and I'm just love the colors that I got out of it. So the colors are really what I was after, and that's cool. I'm very happy with that one. Excuse me. So now next one. This was a tough one. I've got a couple good ones. This is a little spot I found. The ground it's iron ore, the mine that I work at, and you can see in the foreground there, all that's it's not steel, but it's pretty darn close. That's like an ironstone, and it's super rock hard. And in summer, when it gets to 40 to 50 degrees here, that comes up. So to have that in there, it's got a really good texture, and I reckon it looks fantastic. And this tree that I found, and then it all fit in perfectly, and I love this photo. I think the color on it, it's a morning shot, so I think this was just after work off night shift, so I shot straight across. So it was a nice little sunrise shot. And that beautiful little orangey, that 30-minute sunrise, that little 30-minute time limit, I got it just the right time. The mountains in the background have come up really good, and that's a massive area again. The detail in the front of the photo looks fantastic, so very, very happy with that one. I reckon it's a great photo. I love it. Would have been lovely to get some more clouds in there, but I think it actually frames that tree, that old tree with all the lost leaves and nothing left. It actually just really makes that pop. So yeah, love that, and that's come up really good. Now the next one, I wanted to try and get in and sort of get some texture and see what it'd be like up close. These like the little spin effects, and I give you a hot tip, they're like needles. Every one of those things, if you get one of them in your leg, you really know about it, and that's basically the whole bushland around here. You can see the rocks, like the ironstone pieces, and you can see it's like that, and there's little chunks of iron. It's really, it's like basically walking on broken up bits of steel, so it's really cool environment, and to bring up that spin effects, and like it's a really nice, I think that's come up really good. I'm pretty happy with that one. I think it's good. It shows off a lot of detail, and I thought it'd be a good example for you to see how crisp the lens could be, and that's only, that's pretty much right there. Just a good shot that'll be in that 2 meter, 20 centimeter range. So I'm pretty happy with that one. That's come up good. Next one. Again, it was the morning shot. That tree before we looked at, the second last one. I was doing that, and I turned around and I looked at this, and I had that beautiful big sun coming through, and that just tree, and it just that little bit of glow, and it was just enough, and it was throwing off some shadows. I reckon it's a great photo. It showed heaps of texture again. Couple of little clouds in the background which helped out. A little bit bluer there. I'm really happy how the lens handled the flare and that from the sun. So yeah, really cool. Very nice. Really like that one. That was pretty darn cool. It's just got that little something about it, I think, that photo. Now, this one. I was just trying to give the range. Now this is the mountain range behind. You can see where it goes off into the right there of the photo. That's that beautiful mountain range. This tree frames up lovely in front of that, so it gives a really good depth and a good scale. That little mountain at the back there, that's a good 500-600 meters to get to that, and it's a really steep incline, and it's all that same rock. It's really cool place to sort of investigate. So very cool, and I just love this photo. And it's just got it looked like rolling hills, and I think it's come up good. Again, that tree is in the foreground is really framed up nicely by that beautiful big mountain range in the back, and those beautiful oranges and yellows and stuff coming across. It's also got got a fair bit of detail in the front there, and I'm pretty happy with it. And there's a small little flare which over on the left there, just at the bottom of the mountain. Again, some people might not like that and they want that detail, but I actually don't mind that. It's sort of, I think it gives that little bit of essence to the sun, so it's like a sunbeam coming through. So I don't really mind that, and I really love that photo. That's another one I'm really happy with. Now, that hill we just looked at, this is basically on top of that. So again, you got a nice little bit of green flare through here. This time the last one was a little bit of a red flare. So that's pretty cool. That tree at the front there, blocking that sun and just making it glow in the back. You can see it opens up a huge, massive portion of the land behind it. Lots of great textures at the front there. I thought it was another good example. Some clouds in the back. So I think I sort of got the photo fairly well. It's probably not as good as the last photo, but again, or the one before with the light coming through, because it doesn't really throw those shadows off. But I thought it handled the sun pretty well. The lens does have is coated and stuff like that, so it does help you out a lot with the sun flare and stuff like that. But it will give you those sort of that vintagey sort of a little bit of a flare coming through occasionally. So very cool. Now the next one. Again, I wanted to get in and try and get see how close I could get to stuff and see how it'll pull up the textures. And this one actually worked out pretty good. I did a couple here. The first one was a bit blurry. This one I got the focus right. It looks really good at the front there. You can see all those textures in the rock. You can see that rock, it's all the layers and then the millions of years, and it's just compressed and that then sort of broken up. And this is on the top of a hill, so yeah, it's sort of ancient landscape. And again, I'm a bit of a sucker for a bit of a flare. I've got to admit it. I love my anamorphic stuff and that old vintage. I think it's probably just a little bit of my age coming through, and starting and the old cameras when I used to have them. And I love these four. You got on the right hand side in that corner there, you've got four beautiful one little crisp red circle of a flare, then a green, a yellow, and a sort of a half blue, half red, and then it's sort of like a laser beam coming down on a lovely angle from the sun, and then that little red blue over there. So that sort of, I think it's sort of, you see the rock and it's really nice, and it comes up nice, and it's nice and detailed, and I'm pretty happy how the focus worked on that one. And that was basically laying down from only here to there away, so minimum distance for that focus to work. I think it's done a great job, and how it looks with the colours and everything. And then again, I really like that flare. I think it came up good. Now this next one, good looking bloke in this one. I just wanted to sort of chuck in a bit of a scale for you. I guess that's on one of the tops of those little peaks there, and then you get the mountain range in the back. Good sort of a view to sort of see how it handled with an image in the front, and then the colours at the back. It really handled that sky, nice big blue sky at the back there. And then it gives that beautiful big range. So probably just threw that one in there more so, not to look at myself, but just to just give you sort of a bit of a scale for that lens and how far it can sort of stretch out, and sort of how far it does throw the image out. So yeah, pretty cool. That distance me to the lens, that was about 6 foot. So pretty good. I'm happy. I'm really happy with the focus come up on me. All the details are really good, and then it throws out, and it's a beautiful image. And yeah, it's really picked up everything else in the image, and it's nice and clear and crisp, and nothing looks dodgy or blurred or anything like that. So yeah, it's a really nice image. So that's sort of I've got a few more from the camp to finish off with, and there's some perlers. I then took this out to Bells Rapid. You've seen one of my videos, I did a Bells Rapid walk. It's a gorgeous spot in Perth, and I wanted to get some spots in there. This first one, I wanted to chuck in a black and white one for you, just to see how that did it image-wise. And you can see this one here. It's a great little shot. I'm really happy with that big, beautiful tree up there. This little pool here, it sort of wasn't much ripples or anything flowing in there, and then it had the mountains coming in the back. I think I framed it up a bit. There's a little bit of vignetting in there, but that's probably more so from the ND filter. I've only just got it, so I'm playing around and stuffing around with that. So then you will see those top left corners there. There's a touch of vignetting on there, so we'll talk about that at the end, I guess, as well with that one. But yeah, other than that, it was. I think that's come up really good as a black and white. It's heaps of texture in there, and it's yeah, I'm very happy. Very happy. You can see in there the details and the rocks. The water's just picture perfect. Very, very cool. Even at the back there, you can see with that log sitting in the back there, crystal clear, nice reflection coming through. Lots of texture on the grass and that tree. I think it's picked up pretty much everything there. I'm pretty happy with that, how that's come up. Even as a black and white, I think it sort of adds a bit of character. And yeah, another perler. This one this was a good shot. I got in. It was again a little bit of a patch. That little stump out in the middle. In reflection, I probably would have gone out further towards it to really highlight that into it. I think that was the only downside with this picture. I went out to about waist, or just up to my waist on this into the water. Had the tripod in there, trying to get a picture of that And I think what was in my mind, what I was looking at, and then what's come up on the picture probably isn't as good as it could have been. I think I definitely needed to move forward, but it's still come up really, really good. I love the way the lens has picked that water. It's got a fantastic image on it. It's crystal clear. I cannot fault the image on this camera. It picks up the clouds in the background, even bits. There's a bit of rain. It was raining a little bit, so you can see that in the background. You can see the little misting up on the mountain, but still crystal clear over on the rocks here on the right, and all those bushes and the flowers. You can still sort of pick up a lot of details there. And that stump, if you zoom into that stump, again, that's like, there's no blurred out there. It's not blotchy or anything. It's come up really good. Yeah. I really like the image. Probably at least another 5 to 10 meters in and really blown that up, I think. And there still would have been smooth, but I think that's more so my mistake. As a rookie, I'll take that one. But yeah, another good example for you. This next one, again, I love that flowing water and rivers. We talked about that when we did the Bell's Rapid one. K&F filter on there with the 7artisan adapter. You will see a little bit of vignetting again with that one. But the only thing I disappointed about it was with that one. I think I've just got to watch how far I go. I think I was going to the max a bit. I probably could have adjusted my aperture to fix that. I was probably a little bit lazy, but the image is fantastic. I love it. I really love this one. It's a fantastic shot. That rock in the center there at the foreground, the main one, beautiful big rock, absolutely bang on focus. Looks $1,000,000 there. Really stands out. And then that water just flowing around it. I think it's come up good. Even the rocks in the background just all spot the dog. Yeah. Even back on the hill, I mean, it does drop down on the hill, but like even to the bridge, it's still fairly good. You've got the flowers in focus, these branches on the right-hand side. Yeah. I'm pretty happy how that's come out. I think that's one of my better photos for this trip. I hope you enjoy it because I really like that one. Now you can see off to the right in the bottom right-hand corner, this sort of little nook and cranny going into there, and that's going to be the next photo. Just thought I'd give you a heads up there. I was watching this one and I thought, oh, geez, that's this little hole off to the side where the bushes had sort of just parted. So I got the camera, got down with a tripod, and I sat down in the water and took this shot, and I love the way it's turned out. The obviously the polarizing filter on the K&F is a concept filter, ND filter, and CPL filter. It's worked out really well. Nice, and the water beautiful and clear. You can see the rocks below, and then everything else is just spot the dog in focus, and just all the textures is really cool, and that light coming through sort of come through like a tunnel, and yeah, it was very cool. I really like this one. And this one, now this big stump up the front. I really wanted to get up where that water was flowing through that gap. My tripod was not big enough. I was up to my neck, and I got probably about another 6 foot in front of this photo, just getting up to it, and it dropped down, and I think I was going to be here under the water. And yet the Canon M50 not really super weatherproof, and definitely not waterproof. But I love this photo, and again, I would have liked to have got in there, but I just couldn't get any closer in there. It was just far too deep, unfortunately, to get in and frame up that log. But I love what it's done. It's captured that movement really nicely. all those rocks, even all the way up. If you look at to that stump, if I just zoomed into there, rocks all the way up to there, crystal clear, and even the blurring up on that water, that movement on that water when it's running through, it's come through really good. And even on the back, on that hills on the back there, if you go to the back there, I think it's come up really good as well. It's fairly clear for such a long way off. The lens does a fantastic job of getting everything in focus. There's a lot going on there, and it does a great job. And it's got a beautiful silky smooth water. Sorry, I've just bounced out again there. And there's that stump now. That's the next one. So you see that stump? That's basically, I'm directly below it. I'd be 20 to 30 centimeters from that rock in front of me, and I basically got down in the water, put the tripod down, and I had the camera probably this far off the water, and I just sat there and I got that, and it just opened all that up and give me that stump. And I really, as much as I would have loved a bit more blue in the background, a nicer clouds, it was an overcast day, but it's picked up everything. Everything's in focus. Yeah, I think it's pretty cool. I'm pretty happy with that one. Again, it's just one of those old trees that's in the right place in the right time, and it just really frames up nicely. Now, these last three are probably three of my favourite with this lens. There's some fantastic ones in that bunch I've shown you now, but from a wide angle perspective, this one here just pops. I got this the other day. I ran across straight after work. I could see it was going to be a really lovely sunset. And this tree was just not far away, so I got there just in time. And about 10 minutes after this, it poured down rain, and I had to run back with me camera under my shirt to get back without getting the camera destroyed. And yeah, I was very happy with this. Once I got on Lightroom and cleaned up, it has come up fantastic. Like there's a little bit of fuzziness in that front. I was focused right on the back end down in the clouds. If you zoom in on that sunset, those colours are just sensational. Sensational. I don't know what that is. It looks like some little bit of an artifact in there, actually, right behind the tree. It's like a stick figure or something. I don't think it's a tree as such. I'm not sure what it is. Maybe a hair on the lens. It could be my bad. But look at those colours. The oranges picks up a fair bit of the texture in the cloud. Yeah, that tree is... Spot the dog, just sort of enough. You can just pick up enough of the tree to get the textures out of it. I think it's great. And again, it shows off that wide angle, and that's how far you can get. So it's a great wide angle lens. Hence that big dome at the front. It's beautiful, and it's done a great job here. Yeah, awesome. Love this photo. That is just spectacular. I've got to probably start putting these things on Shutterstock or something, I think. And then that same photo, but I flipped vertical, and I think this even looks better. This really picks up that foreground, and that's all now in focus. That's super in focus there at the bottom. Again, that orange, you can see those little black, there must be something at the back. It might be some smoke or something, that's what it was. And you can see that orange. That orange is just gorgeous from that sunrise. It was probably another 5 or 10 seconds after, or maybe a minute or so after that last photo. So the sun's just gone down a little bit further, so it doesn't have that that little cresting of the sun when it's going down. But that colour it's thrown off from the clouds, the trees, spot the dog again. I'm super happy with that. Definitely an Instagram photo, that one. Really love it. That's very, very cool. And then this one, it's after the last one, everything sort of looks like, and it looks perfect. This one just caught me. it's got the tree that I wanted, and this is when I got wet, and you just see all the clouds in the background, and it's sort of, it's a bit more yellowy in that, but it just catches me. It's focus is perfect on everything. Really happy with that. The colours, and it's probably more so focused on that tree, on the tree in the front. There's a little bit of blurring in the background, those trees in the background, but that sun's just popping through, and it just looks very, very funky. It's got that really sort of rusty sort of a vibe to it, and I really love this photo. So yeah, very, very, very happy with it. Yeah, very cool. So that's it. So that's my examples with the lens. I hope you enjoyed them. I hope you like what I've done with it. I think I would get a little bit of a I would have liked some more astrophotography stuff in there to sort of test it on. Maybe some more flowers and stuff. I didn't get a chance to get in the Botanic Gardens or into the King's Park to get that out. But I think this gives you a good idea, and definitely the lens. Wow. So I guess conclusion, where do I think I got value for money? For $180, this lens, you will not fail you. It's a fantastic lens. It's solid, strong, it's going to last, it's built really well. The glass is fantastic. It gives you a fantastic image. I'm possibly to fault with anything that is in there that doesn't possibly look 100%. It's probably more so mine than the actual lens. The lens is fantastic. I'm very happy with it, and I think, yeah, definitely, I would definitely recommend this if you are looking for a wide angle Canon M50. You don't want to spend a fortune. You just want something where you can get a wide angle and give you that. The 7artisan as a brand new item is going to last you 20 years or more easily. It's in that old school, that SME Takamura Asai sort of build, those, and the Russian ones, those solid steel, built to last. It's in that sort of a flavour. So very, very cool lens. I love it. I think it's great. Yeah, if you're looking for a wide angle lens, 7artisans. Now I will say, I'm not sponsored by 7artisans. They haven't paid me for this. This is not a sponsored review. This is purely my thoughts on it, because as you can see, I've got some fantastic images out of it. It's fulfilled everything I wanted for $180, which was half the price of a Canon one, which I was going to get. It's done everything I wanted. This is probably the landscape and stuff like that. It's probably more so what I'm into. I don't do portrait stuff as much, and I haven't tried it. I want to do some more work with Jack at home and stuff like that, and I'll try and I'll just add them onto my Instagram. But yeah, I love the lens. I think it's definitely the value for money. Definitely a 5 out of 5. For value, cannot beat it for the money. Quality, yep, I'll give it at least 4.5 out of 5. There's nothing wrong with it. It fits perfect. Could it be better? As much as it's silky smooth and it's got that notchless, I actually wouldn't be mind if you could sort of click it for the aperture. Hey guys, how are we? Just wanted to get out amongst the Pilbara, show you, I guess, what you can see. You've seen this tree in some of my photos. It's probably my favourite spot here. It's a beautiful little spot. Sunset's going down. There's a little bit of cloud. It's a really nice one. I thought I might be able to get a bit. Don't think so. But yeah, so this is the 7artisans 12mm wide angle lens, shooting in 4K, so sort of give you an idea of that. Obviously I'm on a tripod, so it's pretty still. I don't have to worry about that. I've set the focus. Should be pretty good, I hope. I've got the tree in focus, so I've used that as a defining point. Yeah, I'm pretty happy with it. Hopefully you like it. I thought I'd just give you a bit of an example. It's just about dusk, so low light, and there's still plenty of light getting into the lens. I've even put a little touch of ND filter on it just because it was popping. There's a fair bit of light. It is a 2.8 aperture, so even though that doesn't sound much, it does pull in a fair bit of light. Yeah. So yeah, I hope you like what I do. What I'll do is I'm going to do a bit of a pan round for you, swing around, show you a bit of the range around where we are now, and then see if we can come back and get some of that sunset. If hopefully it might poke its eyes through those clouds. Righto, let's check it out. So yeah, the sun was just coming through just before, and it was just a shame that it's sort of, you can't really see it. There's no image stabilization in this lens, so I'm just going to do a slow pan for you. See if that sort of gives you a bit of idea. Obviously I'm not on slow frame, so I'll take it up and do that as well on the way back. Just thought I'd just show you what it can handle on a slow turn. I'm just going to dust that ND filter up a bit. There you go. So how's that? That's it for us today. Bells Rapids, the 7artisans 12mm 2.8 aperture manual lens. Hope you enjoyed it. Hope you liked the photos. Bit of a quick one to check it out. The KNF variable ND and CPL filter worked a treat today. Very happy with that. Again, you can buy the adapter through 7artisans, that'll fit it, and then again everything basically I got off eBay. So the lens was under 200 bucks Australian, which is fantastic, and I think the filter's about 70 bucks roughly for a variable, which is fantastic, and it's pretty good quality. I've had the cheaper ones, which a few of them I've got, not real flashing. You definitely tell the difference when you get a quality one, so something like this, the KNF, has worked out well. I thought I'd do this last section with the manual lens on, with the 7artisans on, so you can just see what it's like for filming if you want to use it for film as such as well, to get that wide angle. And I'm pretty sure it looks pretty good. We'll find out when we get back to the studio. Hopefully it's all good. Anyway, that's it from me and Tigers Media. Anyway, have a great day. It'd be great to catch up with you again, and we'll see you all on the next video. See you guys.